Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Well, welcome back to another Friday night bee chat. I know Cayman is on actually right now, but glad to see everybody here in my chat. Hey Perry Coat. Hey Joe. Hey Keith. Sonia. Hey Joseph. Hey James. Clay. Hey Tom. And let me go ahead and drop the link in here. And it is pinned. Hey Ben. Yeah, hey Clay. Hope you're feeling better, Clay. Oh, okay. You were just in the Chester chat, were you, Perry? Or Joe, actually, Perry County Bee Company. Cool. Glad to see you. Here comes Bill in. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, it's a little bit warmer today, not much.
Yeah, it was
Hey,
a little
Todd.
bit warmer day. I had a good ride to North Carolina down to pick up some stuff today.
All right, that's cool.
Yep.
I got rid of a load of firewood today at this guy's place, and they pushed the snow out of the way, and luckily the ground was froze. I could get in there with a 2-wheel drive truck and drop it
Cool.
in his what do you call it? One of them wood boilers and
Yep.
all that. So Perry or Joe from Perry County. Why don't you stop on in? Were you on the screen with us here,
Who's
Joe?
that? Who,
I
me?
don't know. No, it was Joe from Perry County Bee Company. He was in the other chat that I just came out of. Hey, Dot. Hey, Dodd. Hey, Dave.
There's Mark Miller.
Hey, there
There's
is Mark.
Keith.
Yeah. Got a good crowd in here, even though Cayman's on board.
Mm.
So hey, Roy.
I'll tell you about that one later.
Yeah, Highland. It's Sonia. But anyway, I am excited. Tomorrow it's supposed to get up to 50 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer. And check this weather here. Tomorrow, all right, now it says 49 degrees, but it's close enough for me. They like to change around. But I'll get out to the bees. It's been, I think the way I counted it, it was 23 days since it's been 50 degrees. Tomorrow will be 50 degrees. And it was on January the 22nd that last time it was 50 degrees, and that was about 2 days before the big snow. So that was on a Thursday, and I think it snowed Saturday night and through pretty much all day Sunday, and then it sleeted for another 6 hours on top of that. So anyway, I'll get in there and check my feed. I checked them Monday. I spot checked at a couple nukes and a couple 10 framers. They had plenty of food. So it's been 12 days since I've been in there. So they probably should need feed by then. Hey, Brian. And so
Sorry about that. Hey, Joey.
Yep, 23 days is what I just counted since the last 50 degree.
There's Todd. How are you, Todd?
Yeah, I did listen to some of their show last night, but I was tired. I actually laid down, and of course, it kind of makes you, once you went to sleep and then you woke up, oh, it's really late. Missed most of it. They had Glade on there from Utah. They were talking about, the differences in their area where, as far as weather conditions and desert conditions, I guess you would call it. Hey, Matt. And that kind of thing. But
Yeah, so I had a phone call today.
yeah.
Somebody from Utah wanted to order bees from me this spring.
How did they get way out there to you?
Following me on
chat?
Facebook.
Oh. Hey, Brian.
Yeah, you have, Joey. You on here tonight? You made a show this week, right? Oh, what happened to Clay? Friday the 13th again. Happy Friday the 13th for Clay. What happened?
Nothing, as far as I know. Clay, I asked him how, hopefully he was feeling better.
Yeah, I hope he is too.
I knew he fell, or somebody said what was it, Monday night? Said he fell.
Monday night he said he fell. Yeah, we are too, Brian. I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, my son just got back today from Louisville, from the big farm show out there at the Expo Center.
How'd that go?
They actually, in order to find a place to stay, I think they had to go a half an hour outside of Louisville to find a hotel.
Wow.
And he said, every building in every part of that complex was full of something,
I'm sure it was.
Of something.
Yep.
And so yeah, that's pretty good there, Brian. We are the walking wounded beekeepers. And I know that Brian had a spill. Brian had a spill. Clay had a problem. I'm not sure exactly what. He cut wood today, so he must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, he must be. It was either that or it was out of necessity, one of the two.
Yeah, well. So he said that, there was a lot of big machinery there, but he said he wouldn't go back again. He said there was a lot of walking. He took you 2 or 3 days to see everything. And it was to the point where he said, where he could go up here to York, Pennsylvania, to the farm show there that actually has where the machinery is and stuff. It's a dairyman show. He could see the same machinery. They didn't have anything different wise, and all that stuff. And he said the biggest thing was that he had went out to Texas to some show out there where he had to pay to get in. And he said it was nicer out there because you could get some free samples. You didn't have kids running around because there wasn't any. You could walk easier because it wasn't quite as crowded. And he said, I would rather go back to that one than go back to Louisville, Kentucky and all. But they must have flew. That's all I got to tell you. When they left at 7 a.m. and they were home by 4:30 in the afternoon. That's all I got to say on that one.
Yeah.
And they went through the mountain route through Western Maryland.
Mm. Okay. They
And
didn't
then,
go the southern route. They went the northern route.
yeah, yeah. Todd's talking about they had a big thing out there in California, big farm show out there. $1,200 exhibitors, 200 acres of show, 100,000 people each year. That's that's absolutely huge. Hey, Michael. Michael's sick and his head is killing him.
Yeah.
All right. I hear some kind of crap is going around. I'm not sure. So anyway, he got back. I was happy he got back and all that stuff. And there's so any other hey, let's see, feathers and flowers. That's Dot. Hey,
Yeah.
Dot. But anyway, I did have earlier this week, we had some 40-ish degree days, and we did have some flight. Seen some dead bees out in the snow, seen a bunch of poop spots all over the snow. So they did get out and do some cleansing.
Yeah. We're supposed to be in the upper 50s here tomorrow.
Well, they're saying next week while we're gone,
Yep. It's
you
supposed to
know,
be in the 70s.
well, down up here in the 50s, high 40s, low 50s.
Yeah. They're
Not
saying
like,
one day it's supposed to be near 70 here.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, and all that.
That's
So,
enough to make you sick.
yeah, that's what Michael's saying. He said some of the out there at 70 plus degrees. Well, we haven't seen that yet. All I can say, the road behind me where I plowed it out, it's down to the blacktop. The snow is still in the fields. I'll talk a little. I'm going to try to make a video tomorrow for everybody. I haven't made it. It's at least the weather will be warm enough that I won't freeze myself trying to talk and do bee work at the same time. And talk about I'm going to show you what I'm doing, putting some pollen patties on, putting some fondant on. Got some of Matt's fondant left over from the last time. Last time I put the rest of my bee bites in there to see how they do with that. From what little bit I've seen, it looks like everybody's been devouring all that stuff. With the bee bites, you don't really call that a pollen patty because it doesn't have pollen.
There's no pollen in it.
What would you say what's it for? Is it nutritional patty, you might say? You know what I'm saying? I know it promotes brood rearing. I know it has the what do you call it? The probiotics in it. Has apis in it. So I guess it's more of an all around health type patty. I guess you would kind of classify it. I'm trying to classify it. It's like, okay, you want to feed this at this certain time, and then as soon as you're getting close to pollen time, let's say 3 or 4 to 5 weeks out, that's when you would put the pollen patties on.
So I registered for the Georgia State Beekeepers show today. Anybody that's down that area, I'll be taking pre-orders for Georgia.
When's that?
Shows in September 11th and 12th. So I'll start taking pre-orders for that July 1st.
Yeah, Dot. She lost. Where's she at? I can't. She last cold spell. She had one hive go down. Now she's down to 4, I think it is. But she's up in Maine and all. And then Ryan says it's a gut healthy patty.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
All right, I was just kind of trying to, I guess, clarify it for my own terminology of it.
Yeah. That's basically what it is, but because it's got the uses spirulina and it's got the probiotics, and that's what makes it a gut health patty. But it's also got the protein in it. So, I guess you could use it as either a protein patty or a gut health patty.
Minnesota Mike says it was 50 degrees up there next to the lake and bee poop everywhere. All
Yeah. Be careful where you walk.
I know I seen Brian from Castle Hives. He had the same thing going on.
Yeah.
He did lose 4 hives.
Yeah, I saw that earlier too.
The one hive, I would say definitely, for some reason, they ran out of food. I don't know why he didn't have a patty on him. And that Apame hive.
I think he did have patties on him, but they eat them up, and they expired before he could get more food out there.
And then he had some other ones where just looking to me, they just dwindled down. There wasn't much you could have done with them. That one hive, I could say, like he was saying, beekeeper error as far as the patty goes. But the rest of them, it seemed like to me that were the other 3 dead outs. I didn't see any hope for them to begin with and all that. Okay. Sonia says she hasn't lost any and all that. So far, so good for me. I don't know. I got one out there, that last nuke all the way at the end. There's bees in there. They didn't need any fondant or bee bites. I had a partial piece of a bee bite in there. And they were on it eating. But I'm just wondering what, of course, you didn't dig down in there. I was wondering whether they're down in there, and they got plenty of honey along with the other stuff too.
Yeah, I got one this week too. And Becky's been feeding because I can't go down there in the snow.
Yeah. Now, Mike says, do I have shrews? I always thought that was a fictitious animal, but I found out it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, I never heard of that until I think actually Fred Dunn talked about him. I thought he was just using it as like going out and snipe hunting, I figured that's
yeah. There actually is a bird called a snipe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Clay's got 52 out of 52. We got a long ways to go. Yeah, we do. Uncle Junior's beeless. So he just ordered nukes and packages. And Mark's saved a single with a mouse in it, but he hasn't found the mouse yet.
And Perico's down 4 of 30.
So, but Anyway, that's what's happening in my neck of the woods. I mean, I went up there this afternoon. Of course, it was, the sun was kind of behind the barn, and it's been cold all day today. I mean, it never got into the 40s whatsoever. Hey, Russell.
Hey, Russell.
And here comes Mr. Phil. He's on a road trip.
Oh, where are you headed to tonight, Phil?
Hey, heading to your mother's house.
Yep. A 2-week rotation. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. About you?
I was going to come in here and contradict you about your snipe story you were telling. But I actually have to agree with you, Bill. Yeah. Snipe has a beak about as long as its body.
Yep.
About as big as a wild quail.
It's a bird, you say?
Yeah, it's a bird. It kind of acts like a quail. When you accidentally, it'll almost let you step on it. Then it goes out just fluttering and flopping all over the place like it's wounded.
Yeah, it scared the crap out of you.
Almost down to the ground again. It scares the hell out of you when you almost step on one.
You know you can get about a dozen of them in a paper bag, right?
Yeah, about this time of night, right?
Yeah, and in the middle of the night, you stand there banging 2 sticks together in the middle of the woods.
Oh, man. True story. Back to that. Right. But you know what's weird is 2 weeks ago, leaving my mom's house, I saw a snipe on the side of the road that just flew up, flew over a little way. I haven't seen a snipe since I was a kid. They're pretty rare now.
Yeah, they are.
What did you say?
They're hard to find, and they only come out at night.
Is that true?
No. I guess nobody's ever taken you snipe hunting, Charlie.
Oh, they tried 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a real bird.
Yeah, they look kind of like a killdeer too, but they're real small.
Yeah, they're not as.
A little bit bigger than a quail.
Yeah, they're. I'm trying to say, killdeer's kind of thinner and longer.
Yeah. And it's got a higher, shriller.
Yeah, the killdeer also, you see those in like real scrubby, like rocks,
Yep.
areas like that. They'll nest in those. They run around a lot, and they don't avoid people so much as they try to trick you into thinking they're hurt, lure you away from their nest.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say, hey, James out there in Alberta, Canada. James, I watched your short. Your bees are looking good in the barn. Nice and strong looking.
The quail likes to hang out and like to eat grass, brush and stuff.
Cedar tree. They around here, if you can find them, they're under cedar trees and wait a minute vines on the fence rows.
But yeah, I thought they were pretty much extinct until I saw that one the other day. I know they're really, even quail around here you can't because of they're trying to bring them back, but I don't know if you can get them back with all the fire ants.
Too many foxes around here and coyotes around here for quail.
And we got even the pigs in Texas, all their eggs and their young. We got so many raccoons and skunks.
So James, he just said he put nukes in 10 frame boxes. I presume you did all that inside the barn. Pretty cool.
Yeah, let's hope so. I know it's not that warm up there yet.
No, but he opened up some 10 framers up there, and I mean they had bees everywhere.
Mm.
I mean, looking good this year.
Yep.
So, you say you're driving to your mother's house, Philip?
Yeah, I'm driving to her house. I got about 2 more hours to go.
I thought I seen a cop.
What's that?
I said, well, I was watching your back window there. It had some blue lights in there. I thought the cops were after you.
Yeah, there was somebody pulled over that bad.
Oh, you put the nukes in the 10
One
frame
time I
glass.
was on one of these shows. I don't remember which one it was, and I did get pulled over.
You did?
Came into a little town and was going too fast. They let me go though. Couldn't believe it.
Hey, Bill, do you know Anna Philbeck?
No. What part of Virginia are you from, Ann? Cops are waiting at the Louisiana line.
I just came through Ruston, Louisiana,
Yeah.
just where I went to college.
Providence Forge. You know where that's at?
Providence Forge, Virginia. Yeah, I know where it's at.
That's where she's from.
Sent off 64 East. Know exactly where it is.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I sure wish I could get into my bees this weekend. It's going to be a nice weekend. Well, no, actually, they said tomorrow's going to rain. But Sunday it'll be nice.
Yeah, she's down there around the racetrack, Colonial Downs. That's near Providence Forge.
Well, she's close to between Richmond and Williamsburg.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I got some left you can have, Joey. Not much, but I got some left in the bag if you want it.
Well, welcome, Ann. Yeah, Ann. I'm not sure. I think it's your first time here, maybe.
I saw Joey went to Missouri with Mike Berry.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I think I heard you say Joey was on there. I can't see the chats, of course, but I was wondering if Joey was going back for the conference.
I don't know. Joey, are you coming back for Eastern Missouri Conference, or what are you doing?
Maybe he's laying over for a week. He's laying out. And we're going to hang out with Tom also.
He might be laying out in the sun, getting a suntan up there. You never know.
Yeah, I guess they could have stayed up there. Maybe they took Mike's RV.
Yeah.
Those guys would get in trouble if they have that much time on their hands.
He's probably down there with Matt. And Matt says, Philip, you need to come up to St. Louis.
Yeah, I'd like to. Man, I am already behind. I thought I would be in my bees now, but I'm like last year. I'm building equipment like crazy.
Well, it's what, 70 degrees out there in Texas?
Oh yeah, it's been getting over 70 most days.
Well, I mean,
The winter weeds and grasses are starting to pop up. They'll be blooming in another week or so.
Yeah.
Bees are starting to bring in some pollen. I went out front this morning on my way to work, and my neighbor was out there with a chainsaw hacking on his maple tree. It's a silver maple. It's not a red maple, but it's all budded out. And I was thinking, oh, shoot, he's cutting that thing down. But he was only cutting one limb out of it. So I helped him with that.
James will be back in the week of the 23rd. All right, we'll be back by that time.
Yeah, you have to come by the bee store, James. Don't bring any snow. Just come by the bee store.
So, Joseph, are you back in Louisiana, or did you just hang out there with either Tom and Melissa or Matt for the rest of the week? Or did you go out and buy yourself a camper while you were out there? He's at home. That was a long haul. At least I think it would be.
Yeah.
You want Bill's address, James? Or mine? You got mine, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how. I bet Joey had about a 15-hour drive to get up there. Like 11 hours for me, I think.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 pallets of stuff I've got to get out. I've already shipped out 7. I got 2 or 3 more to go.
Right,
and
I'll get it for you.
the LTL companies keep blowing me off, not showing up. So I'm behind with shipping. Kind of makes me mad.
So next Tuesday when I come down, are you opening the store up or not?
I'll probably be unloading a trailer next Tuesday when you come down. I'm going to Pennsylvania Monday. It'll be easy to unload because it's all pallets.
You'll use your tractor on that, won't you?
Yep. Just let me know what time you're coming, James. I'll have the store open for you.
So, Bill, I'm sure this has happened to you, but something, I've been using Pirate Ship, and I've been shipping a few things. But just today, or I guess I saw it today, I got an email from Pirate Ship where UPS upcharged me because they said that my package didn't meet the description I gave.
Yep. Yep. They've done that to me a couple times.
And here I'm thinking, should I put a little cushion in all my orders, or just because that's the first one out of probably 10 or 12 packages I've sent where they've done that to me.
Well, the description that they say that it's not meeting is UPS has a scale and it's got a measurement device on it.
Right.
And they have your measurements that you gave to Pirate Ship, and if it doesn't match, that's what the description they're saying doesn't match. They give you, and it's an upcharge because the measurements don't match.
Yeah, but
and they measure it in that device, and if it's not the same, then they upcharge it.
Yeah, that's what they did. They gave me an extra inch in each direction and extra 6 pounds.
Yeah, so we round up. If it comes out, say 10.5 pounds, we round it up to 11, and we round up to the nearest inch.
Yeah, Pirate Ship also rounds up on the charges. It goes to the nearest inch.
Yeah, I know.
So now I bought, if you put a tape measure on it, they're probably sort of right. The box I bought was 12 by 12 by 36, but that is an interior dimension. So, if you add the thickness of the wall of the box,
yep,
that would give probably adds a half inch to it or a little less.
Yeah, if it's a heavy corrugated box, it'll add almost a half inch to it.
Yeah, it's not a heavy box, but it's not the lightest weight. It's like the intermediate weight.
Yeah.
32 or something like that. But I'm not going to, it said I could challenge it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just trying to decide whether to add to it, move forward, because I got paid for the shipping. the original shipping, but I'll have to cover this little overcharge myself. It was only like $6.78 more.
Yeah,
Pretty heavy package, but
I would round up on it, and that way, yeah, it's a couple of bucks more, but you know,
the thing I think they were wrong about though was the weight. There's no way I missed the weight by 6 pounds because we weigh everything before we send it out.
somebody had their thumb on that scale.
Yeah, it went from 32 pounds to 38 pounds. That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
Oh well. It probably with the weight, if I accepted the dimensions and the weight probably didn't add, but half of that, $4 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that I'm shipping out, you know, it's in the 40s and 50s, and if you miss a weight on that, man, they really sock it to you.
Yeah, I've got to be careful. I've got to send, that storm trap I did. The guy that won that, Will Martinez, he lives up in like Vermont or up to New York or somewhere up there. It's a long way, and the shipping on that thing is over $50. And I'd already said during the thing, I'm going to pay for $25 on the shipping. But I need to be careful, make sure I don't get a big charge back to me. I need to make sure I'm accurate on the weights and measurements.
What are you doing? Shipping those display racks for the hunting?
Yeah, the last thing I shipped was the display racks. I sold 17 of those at Nobby, and then we sold 8 more after we got back. Total of 25. And the 8 went to 3 different places.
Yeah, the other thing, Phil, I have a regular UPS account too, and I wanted to see what the live UPS rates were now, and I put in a 12 by 12 by 12, 10 pounds, going from my store to Culpeper, Virginia. Take a guess what the live rate UPS charge was. Now it's less than 100 miles.
Say 10 pounds.
10 pounds. Less than 100 miles. Still in the same zone.
Like that would, for me on pirate ship, something like that would be about $15 or $16.
Yeah, on pirate ship, yes.
Yeah, but
live UPS.
But you're right. The retail price they usually quote on there is like 3 times that much.
It was over $100.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
The retail rate was over $100.
And when I do it, it's like shipping it like halfway across the country.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, $100 for what? For shipping bees or something, or what?
No, it was a fictitious shipment, and I wanted to see what the live UPS rate would be, the retail rate.
Make sure that pirate ship was quoting you the right price when they said this is what retail is. I guess they were, huh?
Yeah, well, pirate ship would, if you look that crossed out number, that's the retail rate.
Right. Yeah, that's usually it's always more than double. It's a lot of times 3 times.
Yep.
All right, Minnesota Mike. He's buying several Apamay highs. Any suggestions where the best place to buy them? I don't know where you buy them at.
What's that, Apamay hives?
Yeah.
I would go right on Apamay's website and see if I could get them. You'll get a better deal there than you will anywhere else. And you'll probably get them faster.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, James, yeah, I typically would drive it there, but it's just shipping rates have gotten outrageous in the States.
I don't. I know Michael sells the Defender. Does he sell in Defender
He
Apamay too?
sells a Defender hive.
He just sells the Defender hive. That's it.
Yeah.
And that thing's $300.
Yep.
And then James wants to know why you're buying them things. I have to agree with him.
Yeah, but he's selling them out like crazy.
Oh, yeah. People like them to get them, but I don't want to buy 60 of them.
No.
No.
Well, when it comes to the Apamay, the thing that I got one, I got a Defender hive down here, but it's like they're like all those type of hives. They're kind of, hey Bracken, they kind of you're kind of stuck with them, like the feeders. They got those inside feeder things, and I don't know much about them, but it seemed like to me that's all right for liquid in the fall, but it ain't so great for putting pollen patties on or putting a fondant patty on, or unless you leave that top part.
It seems like they're kind of messy if they're not empty when you try to get in your hive.
Yeah.
It looks like they'd be hard not to steal.
No need to wrap for the overwintering in Wisconsin. Yeah, I get that part of it. But here's like Brian up there. What was it? One or two of the 4 hives that died was the Apamay hives. And here they are insulated, and the ones that are in the wooden boxes are working just fine.
Yeah.
Probably because the bees were able to keep it warm, so that made them want to eat more.
Here's Brian now.
There he is.
Hey, Ryan.
We were discussing your movie or video today, Brian.
Yeah,
your dad.
I'm appreciating Ryan. He's been making lots of videos to get us through the winter. Thanks for doing that, Ryan. They're entertaining and educational. So
Yeah.
those have been good to watch these last few weeks. I'm not snowed in or anything, but still.
No, Brian, but what we were talking about is, yeah, the one hive was definitely a starve out that obviously you weren't able to get to it fast enough to feed it because of probably the weather. And the other ones, to me, from what I could see of them, they just dwindled and died out. That's, there ain't much you can do about it.
No.
4 out of what, 200? That's not too bad. It's not too shabby.
Well, it's like myself. I got complained that, I had took 4 of my hives and they were queenless, and I, combined them with other hives. And so far so good. But yeah, see, he should have combined and took his losses early on. And that's what I did with mine. I had a bunch of hives they got plenty of bees in them, but had no queen, and they were just going to dwindle. So I actually took one of them, didn't have a lot of bees, and one of them had a lot of bees. So I all combined those 2 hives into one hive that's out there. It was that queen that came along real late in the year and took off.
Yeah.
As far as raising a good hive. So I gave it the bee power it needed.
If I ever get good enough at raising my own queens, I'm going to try that little trick that that guy, Glenn Griffith, had. His name was Victor. He would take his older queens, and he wouldn't look for them. He would just take them and just stack them up, one on top of the other. He would do 7 or 8 high. And then he would come back in like 2 or 3 days and just make all of his splits to drop his queen cells in. Would never work. look for the queen. He'd let the queens kill each other off. And he'd end up with one queen in one of his mating nukes, and he just accepted that, out of 7 or 8 boxes, he was making about 3 different splits out of each box. So out of about 20 to 25 splits, he was going to end up with one that had the queen in it. And that, to him, that was worth not having to look for queen. So I don't think I would do 7 or 8. I'd probably do 4 or 5, stack them together. And I'd probably still look for the queen. But
Yeah. Now, anybody here, Bracken wants to know, anybody had a Golden West Queen from Randy Oliver?
One left. And she's not doing well. That's that weak hive I got.
So they didn't turn out as well as that. It's just like Saskatraz. That was a hot thing for 1 year, and
Yeah, they did not. It did not turn out well.
he wants to know how
No.
have they been. They ain't been not doing much of anything, have you?
They haven't been doing much of anything, Bracken, and they've been superseded really, really quick. If they made it through that, they just did not do well. And I've crushed all but one of them. That was a experiment that I did this year, and I've crushed all but one, and she's not going to make it to. I don't think she'll make it to warm weather.
I don't know, Bracken. It just seemed like to me that when you make your own queens and they're from your area, they do better.
Yeah, I had 10. I tried 10 of them, Bracken.
Just like Brian from Castle Heights, he had the Saskatraz, total failure.
Yep.
The only ones that Bruce out there was getting from out there in California.
it's from Hawaii, right?
Yeah, Hawaii, that's right. I don't know.
I'm playing with the idea of getting some of those in September. I'm a little worried that if it's hot, they'll survive the trip.
Hey, Hoskins.
I got one week hive this year, Minnesota Mike, 1. And Clay, I don't think I did anything wrong. It's just they just didn't do well at all. I mean, I put them in there, I requeen with them, requeen 10 hives, and they just done. They get superseded in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Now, he's getting the queens out of Hawaii from Zach. I'm not sure who Zach is.
Yeah, that's Kona Bees.
Kona Queens?
Kona Queens, I think.
I don't think it's Kona Queens, but is Zach, is that the
It's what?
it's Canaan's brother out there raising queens? Is that our friend? Maybe it's a friend.
His name is Zach
Heidelman.
Heidelman.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Heinzelman.
I know one thing. He showed the packaging, and he had like a syringe tube with water in it, and I forget how it was made, but it was one of the best package jobs for bringing bees across a long distance I've ever seen. I don't know. I mean, I mean, as far as knowing whether to buy that, I mean, you're going from a hot area to a hot area, so I don't know whether that correlates with that or not.
I don't know. It might. I mean, those bees are from Hawaii are raised in, they're hot and they come to hot, but if they come to cold, like it is around here, I don't think they do very well.
But and also Bruce says that they don't have any, they don't breed any of those for mite resistance. So, but they said they're extremely gentle, which is what makes me interested in them. Because if I'm going to start selling to people for their backyard, I care more about the gentleness than I do the mite resistance.
No, I'm sure it didn't help either, Edwards bees. I'm pretty sure it didn't. Coming across on that plane, I'm sure it didn't.
Well, I mean, when it comes to shipping bees, I mean, anytime you put it in a mailing system or whatever mailing system you're using, it's a total stress job.
Hey, Chris. Highland, you'd be better off with your Ozark mutts because they're brought up in the area.
Well, if they put those bees in the hole of the plane, is that hole pressurized?
Nope.
So how does can the bees survive that thin air and all
Some
that?
of them do, some of them don't. Some of them freeze to death.
That's what I was just thinking. It's cold up there.
That's why they pack so many attendants in there with them.
I don't know whether.
I mean, buying queens from those places aren't even an option for most of them.
I don't know whether they're temperature controlled or not, or even air or pressure controlled.
No, very, very seldom, unless it's an interior cargo plane like UPS flies. Where they.
What about just? Can you ship a dog? Like if you bring a service dog, is that in a? Can you put him in a dog box and put him in
a dog crate and put him in the hole?
So that's got to be climate controlled, I'll say.
No, not really. Now, if it's an interior plane like UPS planes, those are pressurized. But if they just put it on a regular flight to get it here overnight, no.
I think all of that plane has to be pressurized or it would explode.
I'll have to ask some of my airplane pilot friends.
Explode, not implode. Or maybe, I guess, if it's ventilated, it would equalize.
Tom Robinson says that Heidemans have Cardovian in them, which is poor winter.
Yeah. Well, they got poor Somersets too. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in those Golden West Queens when they started getting superseded.
Well, there's one thing I remember Kamen was talking about is that he started doing his own queen rearing, and then every year he would take the best queens and graft off of them. Kept doing that year after year after year, and he said, I have, much better queen results in his hives and stuff. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm just going to keep grafting off my best queens if I get this one, it's a 2024 queen that's really got a super cluster. If she's that good and she can keep it up, I'm gonna graft off of her this year.
I'll send you one that you can graft off of all year.
What's that? One of them latch
You,
shawls?
you just got to pay for her. I'll rent her out to you.
No, I don't like a $1,200 queen. I can tell you that right now.
I'll rent her out to you for the summer.
So, Bill, are you buying some of those fancy queens?
What, the breeders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm buying 2 breeders.
How many queens do you have to sell to pay for those things?
Hang on a second, I'll tell you. $166 queens.
Man, that'd kill me. It'd be too much stress for me.
Well, that's the selling the queens is the easy part.
Yeah, but no, the stress though is
It's the other work that goes into it that sucks.
that's what I'm saying. It's making sure that don't get superseded. It's not some rogue virgin that pops up. That's what drives me crazy is making it to that number before you lose them.
Well, the bad part about it is you got to make sure that they don't. They're always on the verge of swarming because they're artificially inseminated. So you got to watch and make sure that they don't get real swarmy on you and you lose them, and that's the bad part about it right there. So if I get these breeders, I'm considering clipping their wings.
I wish I was close to you. I'd go set swarm traps around and then sell her back to you. Hold her hostage.
Yeah, hold her hostage. Yeah, okay, go ahead. You can have her. You can deal with the issue. No, but I've never clipped wings on a queen, and if I did it, it would be the first time doing it, and I don't know. Might save me a few $100. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do that, but it seems like that would increase the risk of supersedure to me.
What, being clipped?
Yeah, those workers figure it out.
Well, the only other good part about it is since they're always on the verge of swarming, there's always queen cells in there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the grafting at that point. You just
cut
go
them
ahead
out.
and harvest queen cells and put them in mating nukes.
That's a good point. And in my opinion, those are better cells.
Yeah, they are because they made them. You know?
Mark says low and slow, Bill. Low and slow. I'm not sure what that.
I'm not sure what he means by that either. The only reason I'm getting the breeder queens is because the ones I'm breeding off of now, they're getting old.
How long does a breeder queen last? A couple years?
If you get 3 years out of one, you're doing really good because they pay for themselves in the first year. So if you can get 3 years out of a breeder queen, you're doing really good. And depends on how hard you work them too. That
Right.
you wear them out quick.
So neither one of you guys chase swarms, do you? Or set swarm traps?
Say what? Philip, you broke up.
I'm sorry. Do either you or Charlie set any swarm traps out?
Yeah, I usually set 1 or 2 out a year. No more than that.
I'm trying to develop my swarms I hang on a T-post, and I have this little bracket that I did. It works okay, but I've been having a little bit of trouble with some of them getting blown down, and also that T-post wanting to lean, and then bees are in there too long. Their comb goes all over the place, so it's not nice and level. So I haven't built it yet, but I've come up with a new stand, which is going to be 3 T-posts in a triangular 2x4 bracket, so to speak, that the swarm trap's going to sit on top of. It'll be nice and level and stable. Might make a video out of it whenever I get it made. But I put out probably 15 swarm traps.
I just hang it on fence posts.
Well, I do hang some on telephone poles, some on trees, but that's not, in my area, that's not that easy to find a good straight tree.
Hey, Philip,
Hey, Joey.
build you a tripod.
Build a tripod?
Yeah, just build you a tripod to put them on.
Out of like 2x4s?
Yeah.
That might be something we're considering. I don't know. Have you seen one, or is that just something you thought about?
It just come to my head.
Yeah. I
You
just want to.
You want me to do the R&D on it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. This thing I came up with, I think, is pretty clever. Although, T-posts aren't cheap anymore. Bill can tell you that probably.
No, they're not.
They're like $7-8 a piece now.
Yep. Unless you can go to an auction and find them and somebody's trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, a lot of times people give me some, but usually they're all bent, and they want to give them away.
Yeah, Jeff Thomas. No, I am not going to West Virginia. I looked at that here just recently. You say, Bill, you're going up to vendor up there?
I'm going up as a vendor.
I looked at it. I forget who was actually going to be there
I don't know.
for speakers or whatever it was. I looked at it last night, or I guess it was.
Yeah, this design I'm coming up with is literally a piece of 2x4 that's a 1.5 long. It's squared off on one end. It's got a 60-degree angle cut on the other, and the way they overlap, it's kind of like some people build something similar to like put their 3-legged extractors on, the wheels and all that stuff. Kind of taking that concept of that triangle and then set it on the ground. So that's your template to drive your posts in the corner. It's going to have holes drilled in it. Raise it up, level it off, and use like baling wire to tie them off to the 3 posts. And it's going to be of a size that my swarm trap will sit right on top. And we'll use little clip angles to screw the swarm trap down to the 2x4 frame. It should be pretty slick. And plus, I'll leave it there year round. Once it's set up, it'll be there. Now, it'll be treated 2x4, so it'll last 10 years at least.
Do you know anybody that works with DOTD?
Now I don't.
Around here, they used to pull them when somebody'd run over one of these signs. They just pull the old ones up and pretty much just throw them away. Sometimes people get their hands on them.
Like
They
the
do
post.
pretty good. Yeah. Highway post.
Yeah. They make good T-posts. They make real good T-posts.
If you can find something to cut them with. They're tough.
Yeah, I bet they are. Now you're going to have me looking at all these posts on the side of the road.
Yeah, and the West Virginia one up in Wheeling, it's got David Peck and Fred Dunn and James Lee that comes on here, Greg Burns and Shayna King.
Yeah. I want to go. The one I really want to hear is David Peck.
I have never. I've seen David Peck speak several times, and I've never regretted going to listen to him.
Yeah, what, Phil? You never cared for him?
No, I do. I like David. I like to listen to him. He's good. He makes everything entertaining and interesting. Even if the subject matter is not interesting, he can make it interesting.
Hey, DC.
Hey, DC. Yeah, I guess I've heard David speak several times, and whatever. But
I've been looking at those signposts as I'm driving, Joey, and those things look like they're like 3 inches or something.
They're heavy duty, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's just something else. Never paid much attention to them.
for what? What do you use them for?
Hanging swarm traps on them. They would stay straighter than those little inch or inch and a half ones I have now.
Yeah, see the swarm trap that we use, Phil. It's got a piece coming up off the back of it. It sticks up above the lid.
Yeah.
And I just take a screw and walk up to a wooden fence post and right into that stick.
Yeah, I've got to develop a bracket for that on mine. It's going to have to be a little bit complicated, but I am going to make a bracket like that for mine.
I didn't realize those T-posts were so flimsy.
They're not flimsy, but when you drive them in the ground about a foot, they're still going to, the weight of that swarm trap still going to make it lean forward.
Huh.
Then, and my swarm traps, that's perpendicular to the way the frames are. So now if it's leaning forward like that, the bees draw it out. They'll draw from the top of one frame to the bottom of the one next to it. You got a big mess on your hands when you go to get them out of there if you leave them too long.
Yeah, okay. So the one girl's the inspector up there. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be going up to that one. But I will be going to that one that there. I think, what was it, Brian, out there in Flower Street? His IMBA, Eastern Missouri Beekeepers Association. I think that's how he pronounced it, IMBA. Hey, JW.
So Joey, I saw where Mr. Ed posted his video. He said he's going to keep a tally of everybody's swarm that they'll send him pictures. You don't participate in that?
I might have to send him one.
I'm going to
Gotta
send
be
him
this
everyone.
year.
I'm going to see if he really. That sounds like a big effort if people really do send him pictures. What if Rod Pelton sends him a picture of everyone he catches?
I don't know what happened, JW. I just clicked and come in.
Well, see, Tom's not in here, so JW is safe to come in here tonight.
Yeah. I wanted Todd to come in. I got a question for Todd.
I don't think Todd's still on here.
I'll probably hang just enough swarm traps to make a little video out of it.
Todd's probably either driving or getting ready to come to the house and cook.
One of the two.
Because he's just coming home from work right now.
Yeah, he is.
I see him saying, "Hey, Tom and Melissa," but I didn't see him come in.
Oh, there he is. He's making vanilla honey today.
Oh, there he is.
All right.
And then Tom Ayers got Lewis Bartlett, and you got Greg Rogers, Kent Williams, Brian Zavada, and Jim Muscucci as speakers, and Tom himself speaking.
So who's doing the advanced class, Tom?
Is there actually any subjects? Did they explain what the advanced classes are going to be about? They're at the family functions, or
Yeah.
no problem, Tom.
Yeah, I have
What's
one
Todd
tree
teaching?
by a fence post where I hang my swarm trap. That if my bees swarm, they come to that tree every time. So, and on the other side of the farm, when I had bees over there were two fence posts that they would go to every time. So all I had to do was look at the door and look at those two fence posts to see if the bees were swarming.
So Brian is doing how to make money, right? Selling product.
Tomorrow on Joey's chat. They just finalized the schedule.
Well, Kent Williams, he taught me how to graft years ago, and he is an EAS master beekeeper, but he's the only master beekeeper that I can say is one.
Yeah.
He knows he's forgot more than everybody else has ever even thought about.
He's got more than just a piece of paper, huh?
You're darn right he doesn't. He's got hands on, and he knows.
Yeah.
And he ain't, it's like I said this before. I was at that class learning how to graft with him. There was a woman in that class he was saying something about something, and she said, "Well, you're a master beekeeper." And his answer to her was, she said, "Lady," I said, "that was just one day that I happened to know the answers to the questions on all 3 or 4 tests at the time. That's all." You know.
Yep.
He's just down to earth, but he knows bees forwards and backwards.
I thought I heard David Burns talk about that EAS. Now you have to do an interview to get it, right?
Yeah, they changed their testing procedure. It used to be to get the EAS master, all you had to do was go sit for a written test.
Right.
If you passed it, you were a master. Now you got to sit for an interview, you got to do the written test, and they're considering putting microscopy on it.
There's 4 tests in EAS. First one's the written. Second one, you go into a room and you got all these gadgets sitting on the thing, and you got to know what they are. You got to tell them what they are. And then you got to go and do the live bee thing where you go out there and they'll pull up a frame. It might have, European foul brood on it or something like that. Once you get that done, then you go and set for the oral exam, and they'll sit there and ask you questions on how basically as a teacher, how you're going to, respond to that question. And then on top of that, they want you to have a very short, I think it's a video presentation or a PowerPoint presentation as a teacher and that kind of a thing. And then they grade you on all 4 of them different things. And then you become a master beekeeper. So.
No comment.
No comment, DC.
I like all of those except for the interview. To me, that sounds like that's the gatekeeper.
It is. That is the gatekeeper.
Well, you got to remember something. Who started EAS? It was a bunch of science people in a college who started it. So they're looking for that teacher thing about it.
Yeah.
I got no issue with them wanting you to have teaching skills and wanting you to.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be going out as a teacher, as a public speaker, and all that. That's what it's all about to them.
What I'm skeptical about is how they can arrange a board of people that can determine what your best method of teaching would be. That sounds to me like that sounds just like trying to control the scenarios there.
Yeah, Minnesota Mike, you can come to the conference and you can talk to Apame if you want to buy some Apame. You got Easy Peasy there. You got Easy Ox, Hilco, Comfort Pro, API Tactical. I think that's that gloves and stuff. You got Michael with 21st Bee Frames, unless he doesn't make it because he's sick. Or you must wear a mask if you get in 20 feet of him. And Hives for Heroes is going to be there. Noroa, Golden Bees. I guess that's the bees you're talking about, those queens. What's it called? Isabees and Hive Alive. Not to mention over 30 amazing raffle items and door prizes.
Yeah.
This sounds like Melissa wrote this out.
It does, doesn't it?
What is Isabees?
Yeah, really.
I don't know what
Never
that
heard of that.
They might have been at Hive Nobby, but I don't remember. Golden Bee, isn't that guy out there in the Midwest that has woodenware supplies?
Yeah.
Amish fellow of some sort.
I'm pretty sure it is.
That's who it is. Isabee is the local bee store. And then we have JW's Kissing Booth.
And Charlie's Dancing Booth.
I thought that I think that Tom and Melissa wear like a purple colored capes with like gold frill around the outside and the crown. King and Queen of St. Louis. They got JW as the court jester. I guess Todd will be the court jester. Is Todd coming? I don't know. That nerd. I think he is. Yeah, he bought his ticket.
Yeah, he's coming.
Well,
Todd,
next,
If
Well,
somebody pick him up at the airport.
who? Oh, Todd is. Yeah,
Is Todd picking you up, JW?
I'll ask him right here. Now you can talk to him direct.
Are you picking JW up, Todd?
No,
driving.
No.
no. JW would be picking me up, but I think Alicia's picking me up. I'm not sure. I'll
All right.
find out here in the next day or two.
Well, if you need a ride,
you got my number, Todd.
if you ain't got anybody picking you up, Todd, call me.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, all I know is the plane's gonna land. That's about it. I don't know.
That's good, as long as it lands soft.
You're awful confident.
Well, that government shutdown's going to start up, and that's going to throw all this airline stuff into haywire city. So I don't know.
When they shutting down?
It's coming up pretty quick. I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, it's midnight tonight, Todd.
Oh, it is tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, TSA is going to get hit. I don't think the air traffic controllers they'll get paid like they did last time, but I know security would be a mess.
I don't think air traffic control has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
It's,
Right. But I'll be there.
Yeah, it's Homeland Security, TSA.
Alicia's picking you up there, Todd.
What's that?
I say Alicia is going to be picking you up for sure.
I just saw that. Yeah, okay.
Hey, Todd,
Yeah, he's going to take it in.
know that you have to bring your passport because they check your passport when you come out of California.
Well, I have to present my passport to get out of California. Nah.
You'll probably have to show it again to get back in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh,
California's going to make sure you're not taking any of those ants you have out in your pockets.
Yeah.
I should load up on those. I haven't seen any yet, knock on wood. But yeah, they'll be around soon enough. So,
Charlie, you got your stuff ready to go to St. Louis? You got all your paperwork together?
Yeah, I got everything. I've had that lined up.
hey, I was cutting up vanilla beans and scraping out the stuff and putting it in honey and listening to you guys. I got a couple things. So I'm going to get me and a guy in the bee club here are going to get some of those. I think it's HawaiianQueens.com. Those are the Latshaw queens. They ship overnight, so they ship on Mondays. So we would get them on Tuesday. And
Why don't you get them out of Ohio?
What's that?
Why don't you get the Latshaws out of Ohio if you're going to get Latshaws?
Well, I can, but that's not for a while. I need them right now. I've got 13 triples out there. I'm at my wit's end. So
Okay.
we're gonna order them next week, and then so they'll be here the Tuesday after I get back from St. Louis, and then I'm gonna call in sick on Wednesday and put them in. If my boss is watching, I hope he can understand, Jane.
You're not calling in sick. You're calling in slick.
Well, that too. I'll make it sound good on the phone at least. But so as far as the planes, when they go from the mainland to Hawaii, they don't mess with the little plane. Philip, do you have thunderstorms behind you?
No, it's Louisiana roads.
Oh, okay. So they don't fly those little jets. They fly the bigger jets. And what they do, like I know FedEx does it and UPS does it, is they take those seats and they hollow out that plane. So that's where they put their packages, the freight. It goes inside where the seats normally would be, and they stack them in big, huge metal boxes. You've probably seen them at the airport, and then they push them up into the plane, and then there's rollers on the floor, and they push it. They have a whole line of them going through the plane. So that whole section is pressurized. So the queens that I would be getting are going to be overnight FedEx, and FedEx does the same thing. So I'm not worried there. And then what was the other thing I was going to mention?
Well, you're actually getting your queens through that other guy, and he's getting the other guy that you're working with. Todd is a commercial beekeeper or something, right?
No, the one of the guys in the club, because he had a big loss this year.
Okay.
So he's ordering queens he wants to get into some cherries next month, and so he's got some bees, and he's gonna patch them together and get them going. So the minimum order with this place is 25 queens right now. After April something, you could order one if you wanted to. But right now the lowest they go is 25 queens. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. I have so many bees right now. Yesterday, and you missed this, Charlie. Last night, I heard that you fell asleep when our show came on.
I call it the tail end, I think.
Okay. Bracken was on there. Bracken and Glade were on, but Bracken had to leave early.
Yeah. I was listening to the Glade. I think it was right at the tail end.
So yesterday at work, around 10:30, the water got shut off because there was a crew digging a hole in the street next door to us, next door to the office, and they hit the water main. And so they shut off the whole entire block. And our organization said, go home. So I got home by like noon. And so I said, you know what? This is a freebie for me. So I put my jeans on. I went out to the ranch and I started equalizing. I have so much brood. What I'm going to do with that third box, I have 13 triples. I'm getting 13 of those Carney queens. And the blue curl flew. No, that's in late July and early August. I'll have that. So with those 13 triples, I'm going to pull a bunch of brood up on top of that. I'm going to throw an excluder under it. I'm going to give it a day or two and let all those nurse bees go up in there. And then I'm going to pull that box off and throw those queens in there, or take the existing queen and put her somewhere else and put the new queen in that spot. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to make a bunch of splits.
Yeah.
So,
Something for Brad at Flower Street. I know that for Brian, the gearbox on that thing, does that have grease in it that needs to be changed or maintained?
oh, you're talking about his creamer?
Yeah.
This should be a sealed unit, right?
It should be.
Is it sealed?
It should be.
Yeah. So, Todd, I think it's always a good idea to move your old queen, but in your case, where you're paying money for your new queen, it sounds kind of risky if you put her in that old location. The will be like a killer.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about that too. So I think what I'll probably do is just put her in with the brood and the nurse bees, and everything will be fine.
And it may not be a bad idea to put her in a nuke for a while and get her really built up, get her pheromone pumping good. And then if you put her in there with several frames, she'd probably be all right.
And last time I looked at my weather, I think I might be able to start grafting in, and I'm looking at it right now. Second, third week of March.
Damn.
Yeah, well, the fourth week of March it'll be in the 70s. So,
Shit.
and it'll be solid 70s after that.
So
So
when is your honey flow going to start, Todd?
what's that?
When did your honey flow start?
Right now I have, when I was out there yesterday, it's like I have supers on. Those third boxes have turned into supers. They've been on for a week, and there's plum and peaches are blooming. The wild radish has been going strong for a long time. And the guy at the club that I'm getting the queens with said one year it was so thick they made a crop out of it. And he said it's actually pretty good honey. So I've got those three things going. And
So are you concerned about the almonds contaminating your honey?
No, not at all, because oranges won't start until right around the beginning of April. So by then they should have taken down most of. There's going to be a gap between peaches, plums, and oranges, probably a good 3 weeks. So they'll have something to chew on. The wild card right now is a wild radish. I don't know what the heck's going on with that, but anyway. So hopefully I'll be back up to speed this year. I think my number is going to be 50.
All right.
I think I'm just going to stick with that. I'm good with that right now. If I get another yard, I think I'm going to be getting another yard. I might start some more over there. 25 or 30. Well, multiples of 4. So who knows?
Yeah, it looks like out here, Todd, I'm not going to be grafting until the end of April.
Okay.
If I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And the weather doesn't change.
Yeah. A couple years ago, I took a picture of a grafting frame that was sealed, and it was dated April 9th. So, and that must have been a weird year, but
yeah,
it'll be go time middle of March for me probably. And everything's getting switched. Every queen except these ones come from Hawaii. And Mark Miller's queen. All the rest, they'll go find another place to be, I guess you could say. What a bunch of dead air here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Uncle Junior wants to know, how do you finance your bee addiction?
Well, basically all my equipment has been bought, and my bees I make. So I just,
And you sell your honey and make money to do all that.
Too. Yeah. Oh, you know what I found out the other day? I cannot sell honey online in the state of California unless I've got some certification.
Say, really?
Yep. Because not because the state, well, the state does say I can't, but the tax man says, well, if you sell enough in a certain state, they're gonna come knocking on your door for their tax money if you don't charge tax to that state. And I don't have a Quickens app to tell me what tax rate is,
Well, you're selling a food product. Maryland does not tax food.
Correct. Some do, some don't. But I can't remember. There's a few that do. So, but the state says that I have to be certified. I have to be through a commercial kitchen, blah, blah, blah.
You're selling across state lines. Yeah, they're right.
Yeah.
Brian, Flower Street, Didn't he just do a presentation or something? I didn't get a chance to dive down into it, but I saw it today. He did a
Just sell the
Man.
bottle, Todd. Don't it just
Yeah,
have
just
to
sell
have
the
money
bottle.
in it? Just sell the bottle.
What do you mean?
It'll just happen
Just
to
sell the
just
bottle.
sell
It don't
the just
matter.
sell the bottle, the container. It just happens to have honey in it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way they get around the alcohol rule around here sometimes. Charge you $10 for a cup.
Yeah, I was thinking about selling jars of honey for $50, and then it comes with a free bottle of mead.
Yeah. I just noticed Matt's question. Yeah, I strongly suspect that magic fondant had something to do with the populations. There's a couple of things,
See you, Dave.
but
Matt better be sending you a sponsorship fee for that.
well, Matt, we're gonna settle too when I get there. So don't.
Prop 65 warning on it.
Yeah, we need that.
I put Matt's bonnet on my tiny little hive that had like a quarter frame of bees, and it didn't save them. So I want my money back now.
You know, I might have to make stickers to put on those jars that say Prop 65 if I send them out of the state.
I thought Matt put holy water in that stuff. It was so good.
Man, I'll tell you. Now, do you guys remember that? I think it was it your show, Charlie? When I was in the garage chopping up one of the blocks that Matt sent me?
Yeah.
And that other package, it looked like UPS played football with it with the forklift. Well, I took that out this weekend and I put it in my community tote. You know, I have holes on the side on both sides.
We're going to try to freeze it.
It didn't freeze.
Really?
So, well, it would have froze. It kind of froze, but I didn't leave it in there long enough. But anyway, so I put it out there. I said, the hell with this, scooping it into bag stuff. I just put it out there, and they've been attacking it for a week. It's almost gone. I looked at it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And,
at least your bees got it.
Yeah.
Well, I know like I say, I checked my hives Monday to make sure it was been 7 days since I had put it in there. And the four different the 2 nukes and 2 10 framers all had plenty of fondant in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, well, I'm going to go in there tomorrow. It'll be 50 degrees for the first time in 23 days. And they should be close to being out of food, and put some pollen patties in and put more fondant in, make sure they can get through the next several days, weeks. Yeah. And then hopefully it'll be warmer. It'll be more of a warming trend, I'll say. So, I mean, that's really the thing of it is if they go out and fly, which, outside the hive right now looks just like that picture right there. It's solid snow with 2 inches of ice crust on top of that. And so they're going to come home hungry. So we're going to have to feed them for another month, I'd say, at least. So anyway, at least they got, out what that they got some use out of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They did, sure.
I'd have to agree with you there where Matt had that in there feeding it all the time like that and building them hives up. He had plenty of bees up there. I think also we had our tasting this past Wednesday. We had our club meeting, which was our annual honey tasting and competition. We had black jar. I brought some bottles. I had vanilla from Brian, and I had Via honeybees, bourbon honey, and I had Matt's black raspberry honey, I think it was, and Big Mike's honey. some honey from the Cream Pal that I really like, which has got the maple in there. So we had a good time with that, and all. But where was I going with that? I'm not sure. But anyway, I think that definitely feeding them like that promotes their brooding up and everything.
Oh,
I think you got, I mean, I know Matt's got pollen powder, Hive Alive, Apis Biologic in there,
Mhm.
and all that.
Yep.
And I think that, I guess you would say it has positive ingredients that maybe honey doesn't quite have, that helps promote the brood part of it, and all. But
Well, remember what Fat B Man always used to say?
what's that?
You feed them sugar, and they'll just take off. You keep feeding the sugar to them, they'll get fat.
Well, you mean take off as far as brooding, or take off?
Mm-hmm. Brooding, they'll brood up. Yeah, that queen will spark up.
Well, we get back from St. Louis, and the weather will be in the 50s more so. Then I think I'll switch over to some 1-to-1 sugar water with Apis in it,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of stuff. Actually, this will be the first. This year is going to be a lot of experimentation on my part. Normally, I don't normally feed sugar water in the spring, and this year I'm going to try that to help boost those hives, get them ready for honey, honey season.
You gonna experiment with any different additive or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at, I don't know, I got some Hive Alive patties here. I'm going to try put them on, see how they like them. Might buy a bottle of that sugar water additive that Hive Alive has. I don't know whether whether I'll see any kind of difference in that. Some other things. So all those different things. Come July, when I do the April guard, I'm gonna do like Bob Benny. I'm gonna feed them while that product is on, and see if she will continue to lay. Whose picture is this?
That's me. That's
There's
today.
Joey. How warm is it, Joey?
It was 70 something today.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd tease everybody a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, all cool.
My car says 60 right now.
I'm 25 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm 26.
I keep driving another couple hours. I'll be at Joe's back. Joe, are you in Louisiana or are you in Missouri?
Do what?
Where are you?
I'm in Louisiana right now.
But feed them a little bit of sugar water with some 1-to-1 with Apis in there. I'm going to feed them, like I said, with in July when I treat them with April guard. I'm going to feed them some 1-to-1 then. Try to keep that queen up and running, so when I do get ready to feed 2-to-1 in September after Labor Day, to fill them back up for the winter. I like this year I had to stop because they weren't brood. They didn't have the brood that I wanted. I didn't want to fill that brood chamber up and with sugar water, so they would have a place to lay. And I think that's where I'm at now, is where I'm on the edge of where, I got some sugar water honey in there, but I'm also insurance wise backing them up with Matt's Fondant and that kind of thing. So I'm going to try to do that, see if hopefully that will work for me. And with that apricot, I think what I'll do is just do 25 grams and do a 4-week straight. Just do it for 4 weeks. They'll clean that 25 grams out quick. Hopefully the weather will cooperate to where it's not any higher than 95 degrees or 90, hopefully 90 degrees. And that way the bees won't have any problems about absconding or anything of that nature. And I think when I do dose them with apricot, it'll be in the evenings before dark, cooler weather, and 25 grams, they'll haul that out of there within 2 to 3 days.
Yep.
Easily. So that's my strategy for this coming mite treatment era. The rest of it's pretty much the same. Formic Pro in September, oxalic acid starting in the 1st of November, and that kind of thing. And hopefully we'll have a decent summer with some, rainfall, like it, should be spread across the summertime where the locust trees are blooming and give me a nice sweet honey. And the poplar trees come along behind that and all that. So we'll see what happens. So
we're supposed to have a wet week coming up. Would have been doing those queens this week, but it's supposed to rain at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even longer than that. And apparently what they're saying right now is we're going to get a pretty good dose of rain. So we're already at our annual average right now. So it's going to be a good wildflower year for sure.
Why is that?
Because all the moisture that's going to be in the ground.
And stuff will grow?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's so many fields around here. All that stuff will pop up. A lot of blue curl will pop up too, which is nice.
So as far as a wildfire, you're going to have fires or not have as many fires because it's moist?
Well, that doesn't make a difference because they don't manage a forest here. So there's tons of dead trees up in the forest, and all it takes is a lightning strike and they're off to the races. Or an illegal pot grow and the cook gets the fire out of hand, and there you go. So, but the moisture in the ground is going to help the wildflowers in the area. They'll stick around longer. They'll produce more. It should be good.
Well, Uncle Junior, let me say this about David Burns. The first thing, when you listen to people like that, you have to take into account where they live at. And then when they're saying they're feeding 1-to-1 with some pollen mixed into it, is that out of a jar? Is that inside the hive? Because if it's inside the hive in a frame feeder, then it's warmer inside, and they will take it later in the season when it is cold. But with and where I live, which I'm close to where you're at, come November, I'm done opening up hives, and I'm ready for wintertime oxalic acid vapor. And I want to be fed. I want all my hives done feeding by the 15th of October, because by that time the weather's going to start changing.
David's in Illinois, isn't he?
Huh?
David's in Illinois.
I think he is, and Junior is up there in New Jersey, so he's close to me.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of figure out where you live at. You can't go by what somebody does. What Todd's doing in California doesn't work with me over here. It's two different worlds, and that's where people get get
Say
in a
that.
world of trouble
Yeah.
when they're listening to, I'm going to learn how to keep bees by YouTube. Well, can't do that all the time.
No.
And as far as his special candy board, it's just a sugar board. That's it. That's what you call promotional sales.
Yep.
Winter
You
be
know,
kind.
huh?
Winter be kind.
Yeah, winter be kind boards. All it is just, you can do it yourself. I've done it myself. I've got videos on it. 10 pounds of sugar, a cup of water, and a tablespoon or two of white vinegar. Mix it up in your bucket, pack it out into your shim, and let it dry, maybe in a hot box for a day or a couple days. And it's nice and hard, and it's ready to go on your hive after, let's say, Christmas.
Yep.
It's the same old stuff. You don't need to buy it from him. It ain't nothing special.
No. Nothing special at all. That's like Charlie and I are close enough where we kind of have the same weather patterns. Might be a few degrees of difference. But Joey lives in Louisiana, so what he's doing in Louisiana isn't going to work for Charlie and I.
Well, it's
And what
25
Bill's
right
doing
now,
in
and
Texas
Joey's
isn't
at
gonna work
70
up here.
degrees. Joey's at 70 degrees, and today I was high 30s.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got snow, and the snow hasn't went away for the last 3 weeks. And that's unusual for me. Usually my snow, it'll last a week and it's gone because it gets warm. But this year we've had 3 or 4 weeks of bitter cold. And I had
Hey,
one
so
week there, the week that we had the snow on that weekend, that following full 7 days, we never worked. Except for Monday, I pushed snow in a heated tractor, and it was 15, 16 degrees as a high,
Yep.
and in single digits down around 6 degrees at nighttime. Maybe
Yep.
negative numbers. I didn't get up to check that part, and it's only gotten up in the last 2 weeks or more. It's gotten, sometimes it touched 40 degrees, which is like a heat wave almost. So you got to watch what you're doing.
Yep.
Hey, Todd,
Yes, sir.
I fell asleep during y'all program last night, but was it your program when y'all were talking about a flash bloom, or somebody was talking about a flash bloom?
Yep.
What causes that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's just the right timing of water. The right amount of rain and the temperature and all that stuff. But it's been a wet year, so that could have had something. And when I say a year, I mean since last fall, since it's rained here. It was raining here in August and September, so we got some good moisture in the last 7-8 months.
What was Philip's question? I didn't understand what it was. Black something?
No,
Flash
flash bloom.
Flash bloom?
So those what I mean by that is these almond trees. I drove home today from work, and I on the highway passed a bunch of orchards. They're all white. It looked like it snowed, and the trees just turned on all at once, everywhere, and up and down the state. It's like that. So generally, the north, they're about a week ahead of us here. And they always are anyway, because just the region up there, I don't know why exactly, but it's just right for them to start earlier than us. And it would be they would have about 2-3 weeks of bee work up there, or have bees in the orchards, and the same down here. But this year it came all at once and all of a sudden, and it's going to be done quick. The big thing right now is that this rain coming in, those growers they're going to have to apply fungicides soon. Otherwise, this moisture is going to allow fungus to grow in those little nutlets. And so the bees are going to have to be moved out, but they have to play this game of have we got enough pollination set, and how much moisture did we get? So that, a lot of moisture is going to be a lot of fungicides or a lot of fungus, and not enough moisture means the bees could stay there longer, something like that. I'm not a grower, but obviously if I was, I'd be doing something different right now. But it's just, this year it's just everything just turned on like a light switch, fast, and it's going to end fast.
Hey, Big Mike.
So that's what a flash bloom.
Yeah, all at once, and it ends earlier than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that mean they'll send the? Yeah, I guess that means they'll be sending those bees back sooner.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty certain they will. The problem is they'll have to go back into a holding yard somewhere. If you have a truckload of bees, you got to find a place to put them, because a lot of the guys will go from here up to Oregon and Washington, do cherries and then apples. Well, unless they're running early too, they're going to have a period of time where they have to sit and wait. So I don't know.
Well, it sounds like to me, if everything comes in bloom at one time, there ain't enough bees for everybody to get pollinated.
I've seen orchards without boxes in them, and I drive by one every day going to work, back and forth, and every year there's boxes in there. Not this year, and I don't know what that means. Sometimes these growers, they'll just let the trees go, and they know that they're not gonna be able to have a crop or do a crop or something, and so they won't rent bees, and then the trees will bloom just like usual, but they let them die out. They stop watering them, and then they rip them out and do something else, or the land is sold and the houses show up. I mean, it's crazy.
Right. Well, I know that they have to have the bees in order to pollinate the tree in order to make the nut.
Yeah.
But now, can the bees self-pollinate to a certain extent?
What do you mean self?
Well, like wind pollination or something like
that. I think there might be some varieties of almonds that do that, but I don't think they're very popular. I don't think they produce that much.
I heard it was like 10% of normal if they didn't get bees.
But Charlie, are you talking about the trees themselves being self-pollinated?
If they don't have bees, will they still get a partial crop?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know for sure, but just.
Well, when they do almonds like that, what do they do? Shake that tree to shake the.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. They have this claw that goes around the trunk, and then it vibrates that tree real fast, and every single nut falls out of the tree. But they don't do that till like August, and then they have another piece of equipment that goes in between the rows, or goes down the rows in between the trees, and rakes up the almonds into a line, and then those sit on the ground for a few days or weeks. I don't know what the time period is. And then they have another machine that comes by and vacuums them up, and then they it's like a grain harvester, where they have a trailer that they dump the grain in, except these machines come out of the orchards, and then they have a trailer somewhere that they dump the almond hulls in, and then, or the almonds, and then off they go.
They haul them to the dairy.
No, they take them to get processed.
They got to milk them somewhere.
Yeah, they gotta milk
Yeah.
'em.
No, I don't think they even do that here in this state. They send those almonds somewhere else, and then they process it in milk. But yeah, what a crazy thing.
Charlie, you never heard Jose say they call them almonds down there?
Yeah, I've heard them call it. Yeah, I mean, Jose
Yeah.
calls almonds.
call
That's
it
northern
almonds.
California.
Because when they harvest them, they shake the hell out of them.
And almonds are called almonds. In almond country, it's called almonds, not almonds. I always tell Jose that. I was like, quit calling them almonds? That's what the heck are you talking about? Almonds.
You never heard him explain why he says that? He says it because they shake the hell out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No. But yeah, it's quite a process. Boy, it kicks up the dust. My allergies always start in August because all that dust flying around in the air, they shake every single tree. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's a little after 10, and I got to get up and go to a state bee meeting tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
And see whether or not I can learn anything and all that stuff. So I'm glad everybody came tonight and hope everybody had fun. Tomorrow night will be Joey's, and Tom and Melissa will be on there talking about EMBA and the scheduling, I presume. And then we'll be on Bill's channel Monday night, right, Bill?
Yep, Monday night.
And then next Friday, I will not be on the air. I'll put out a notice because I'll be out with everybody else in this chat in St. Louis. So hope
It may go the same for me Saturday. Ain't no telling.
Well,
Next
guys,
Saturday.
y'all have a good night. I'm cutting out. I got to get up early in the morning.
See y'all.
See you.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
Good night, everybody.
See you, everyone.
All right.